Montreal, we live and breathe creativity. This is where big players and small studios craft their greatest success stories and come to harness our superpowers, our top talent, our innovative ideas, and our appetite for adventure. We're building a multiplayer ecosystem for the bold and the brave, here to propel projects to new heights and push the entire creative industry forward by giant steps. We're designing an open and inspiring world known for its diversity and joie de vivre. We're behind thousands of celebrated works from all four corners of the galaxy. We are Montreal. Get in the game.
Hey, hello, good morning, good night, good afternoon, bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, onde quer que você esteja, wherever you are, we are here to have this awesome webinar about working abroad. Pessoal, esse webinar vai ser em inglês, a gente tem uma convidada que vai falar em inglês, portanto, esse webinário vai ser em inglês, mas, se você quiser fazer pergunta em português, não tem problema, a gente vai fazer a tradução do lado daqui. So, this webinar, from now on, this webinar is going to be fully in English, right? So we can have a conversation with our guests here. And so, welcome everyone. We're transmitting this to all kinds of places, to YouTube, to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to lots of different places, right? So wherever you are, say hello in the chat, right? Tell us where you're from. Tell us where you're listening us from, right? I can see here lots of people who say, hey, hello, Sandy. Hello, Fabio. Hello, Ali. Hello, Pedro Henrique. Hello, Bruno Lima, meu xará. Hello, who else was here? Daniel Castro, Fabio Nonato. There's lots and lots of people here. Welcome, everyone. Guilherme, excellent. Very, very good. Good evening, Amanda. Frota Júnior, hello. Look, it's so good to have you all here, right? So good to have you all here. Hey, Carlos, awesome. Hello from Rio. Hello from Mexico City. São Mateus, Espírito Santo, Florianópolis. Excellent initiative. From Morocco, hello from Morocco. Cuiabá, Mato Grosso. Hello, everyone. I'm Petrópolis. Okay, that's awesome. Good evening. Jonathan, hello. Hi from Porto Alegre. Look, we have so many good people from so many places, right? What's up, sis Enio? Awesome. Hey, Paulo. Okay, very, very good. Fabio's asking, it's going to be recorded. Yes, this is being recorded. It's going to be there on YouTube or Facebook, whatever you are watching this. It's going to be there for you to check later if you want to. Hello from Portugal. Welcome from Portugal. From Colombia. From Canada. Hey, Juan. Good to see you, Juan. You actually should be here telling your story. Awesome. Hey, Samuel, Fabio from Lages, so many people from so many different places. Foz do Iguaçu, Marília, awesome. So good. Campinas, Porto Alegre. All right. Hello. Hi, Bilal. How are you? Florianópolis, Diadema. Awesome. We have so many people. That's so great. So let me bring in here our first guest. Right. So what we're going to do here today, we're going to discuss, we want to discuss with you. We want to answer your question. If you dream to work abroad, if you dream to move to another country, we're going to answer your questions, right? We're going to help you out, try to understand. So Bretagne, France, right? Awesome. That's great. Diadema. So no, we're gonna be helping you out. If you want to work abroad, we're going to answer your questions. We're going to discuss here with you. So bring your questions. Now, before I bring our guests, let me just say a quick thing. If you want to work abroad, one of the biggest things that you have to do is help your family to move also, right? So if you have, a spouse, a boyfriend or girlfriend, someone that you want to travel with you, to move with you to another country, bring them here. Call them, get them to watch this conversation too, because their question is going to be very important to help you achieve this dream. All right, so Teresópolis, I have family in Teresópolis. That's so good. Tubarão, so Algeria, awesome, Biliel, that's great. Okay, hello, Diego. All right, so let me get here our special guest here. So she is an advisor for international talent attraction. So she's responsible to attract you, right? In Montreal International. So I bring here to the stage, Cirielli.
Hola, Bruno. Boa noite, pessoal. Hello, everyone. How is it going?
Hello, Cirielli. How are you doing? So, Cirielli.
Really good.
Let me go straight to your question, right? So you work attracting people to move to another country, right? And so you must have done this to hundreds of people, right? So it is a possible dream then.
Sure, exactly. Well, our next guest will be the perfect illustration of that. Vou falar a minha introdução em português e depois vamos a mudar em inglês. Então, meu nome é Ciriel, trabalho no equipe Talent Montréal, na Montréal Internacional, a agência de desenvolvimento econômico da grande região de Montréal. So our main goal is to connect international qualified talent interested to come to Montreal to the companies that are currently recruiting here. So it's a great pleasure to be there with you tonight and to talk about this huge topic of international recruitment that is really fascinating.
Okay, so well, congratulations for your awesome Portuguese, by the way.
Muito obrigada. Vou praticar pouco mais.
Awesome. That's
Muito
so great.
obrigada pela oportunidade, Bruno, Júlio e toda a equipe da TDC. É prazer estar aqui com vocês.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you too. Actually, I have a good friend of mine, Joaquim, right? So let me say, bom dia, Joaquim. I think it's like this, like with a J, right? It's Joaquim. So how are you doing, man? So Joaquin's watching us here. MDS is saying you speak very well. Okay, that's great. All right. So Cirielli, we have, do you want to start by saying something, or you want to bring Rodrigo immediately? What do you want to do?
Oh, well, just quickly. So I told you what is our mission, like globally speaking, like to promote Montreal and to connect international talent to Montreal companies. But I'd like to introduce you our next special guest because, well, we met, in fact, during a recruitment event we organized in Porto Alegre in the 2018. Yeah, it's been a while, and in fact I really like the story of Rodrigo, so I'd like to introduce you Rodrigo Moutinho. Now he is living in Montreal, and I think that his story is very inspiring for everyone. So please, if you'd like to welcome Rodrigo, now working in Montreal, and that's great to have him for this webinar.
Okay, so let me get Rodrigo here. All right. Okay, so Rodrigo.
Hello, Bruno. Hello, Ciriel. Always a pleasure to be here with you both. So nice to complete this cycle after a couple of years. So yeah, so amazing to be here with you both and sharing all the great stuff that we have for everyone.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, Rodrigo. So we want you to tell your story in a minute, right? So it's going to be great if you tell us. But let me just kind of go back here to the audience, right? So Daniel Castro says, Ciriel, we met on TDC São Paulo, right? So that's good, awesome. And he moved to Prague with his girlfriend. Okay, now in Amsterdam, right? Yeah, we're gonna get to the questions in a minute, right? Saeed says, can you speak Arab? No, we don't speak Arab, Saeed. Do you, Cirielli? I don't.
No, me neither.
All right, so we don't speak
Arab. Really basic stuff.
Sorry, Saeed. And so Baslur is here too. Baslur is also in Canada, right? Philly says, je suis algérienne. So he's speaking French here. And so he's asking if his candidature is possible. So lots of questions, Cirielli, lots of questions. Just kind of let you know there's lots of questions, right? So Cirielli, how about you start by giving us a general overview and in what's possible, and you explain a little bit, and then we can go for questions, and then maybe Rodrigo can tell his story.
Sounds perfect. So as I mentioned before, so I work in the team that is called Talent Montreal. So what we do is that we do international talent attraction. So all year long, we organize recruitment events to connect companies from Montreal that are recruiting in specific industries. And one of them, of course, is technology, high-tech. We are recruiting a lot in this industry. And we connect these companies, these recruiters, to international qualified talents. So I'm going to show you right now, for example, we have an event that is called Journée Québec Tech. So in this specific event, we have got 30 companies from Greater Montreal, so the Great Montreal region. And we have 200 job offers to fill with the Journée Québec Tech. So you can see it right now on the screen. So this is a website, talentmontreal.com. That is our platform to connect international talent to companies from Montreal, if you'd like to come and work here. So you have a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of advice about the quality of life I've got here in Montreal, how it is to live here with a family, the lifestyle we've got, the different festivals, the cultures, the safety, etc. Here you also have a section about working here. So you will have plenty of information about the in-demand jobs. You will see the industries that are currently recruiting. So we organize a lot of events in IT, in gaming industry, also in artificial intelligence. You will see also opportunities in health, education, etc. And you have plenty of information about how to write your resume like a pro, because in fact, to show that you're motivated for an immigration process, you need to adapt your curriculum, your CV, right? And the information about how to get prepared for an interview if you're lucky to meet a recruiter. You will see also that you've got a lot of testimonies from people, international talent now working and living here in Montreal. So they tell a lot of interesting stuff and give share their experience. And right here, when it's time to move, like everything is done, you've got a job offer in your pocket and all your information about how to find an accommodation, how to open a bank account. You've got a partner that is Desjardins group here. You've got information about the immigration process, how to find a school for children, many things like that. And here, so let's go to the crunchy information. You've got a section. We've got new jobs all year long, and here's the section events. So this is when we organize this specific recruitment event. The best way to be in touch with us is to follow us on social media. So you can follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn. You can also register to our newsletter just to be in touch of all the recruitment events we organize all year long. And here, so you've got the event Journée Québec Tech. This is important to mention that we organize all our recruitment events in partnership with government. So here you can see the little flag of Quebec. It's completely official. I mean, these kind of events are completely free. You don't have anything to pay. Like, be careful, because sometimes there are fraudulent consultants. And here on this webpage, you've got all the information concerning the process. So you will see that here in this case, you can apply before June 13. It's super important, like it's within 2 weeks. So if you'd like to apply, go on, register, and see all the different vacancies we've got. You need to upload your resume in French and or in English. It really depends on each vacancy. So I would advise you to screen all the different job offers and see all the different requisites. And here you've got, right now the recruiters are selecting the candidates they'd like to meet for a job interview. And between June 14 to 23, there will be virtual job interviews with the pre-selected candidates. So this is your chance to meet a recruiter of a company that is currently hiring talent in information technology. And here, finally, you've got all the different job offers. So you can see we've got about 200 job offers right now. And then, well, it's like a classical job board. You just need to click on a specific job offer. So here, for example, let's say I'm a business intelligence developer. You've got the job description, then all the prerequisites, like all the competencies, all the skills that are required. So here you can see BI, 3 to 5 years, C#, .NET, SQL, etc. And here you've got the description of the company. Finally, if I'm super interested and I'd like to apply, you just have to click on this button, apply for the offer. And then you need to create an account online. It's super nice and easy. It's really fast. I mean, as I mentioned, it's completely free. And then here I'm going to register as a candidate for the test to show you how it looks like. So you need to to upload your CV, your resume. This step is mandatory because otherwise a recruiter won't be able to evaluate your profile. You need to put your skills, where you currently live. So for example, in my case, I'm a PHP developer. I currently live in Paris in France, and I'm exploring the different options regarding my situation. This is my immigration status. Here you can upload your different documents. So it could be your resume, motivation letter, if you'd like to put your portfolio, GitHub profile, things like that. And here, in some cases, you need to answer pre-selection questions. So for example, in this case, for this company, how would you assess your BI skills and your data warehousing skills? So you need to select, okay, 6 on a scale out of 7. And how would you assess your skills with C#, .NET? Okay, let's say I'm 5. And then you just need to select Journée Québec Tech, so Québec Days Tech, to participate in this event and to select your availabilities in case you are contacted by a recruiter to have a job interview. So here you can see that you can just select the different days you're available and then confirm to finally apply to this job. You can apply to as many jobs you'd like. The important thing is that it fits your profile and meets the requirements, of course. But really, you can apply to as many job offers you're interested in. So that's it. It's really nice and easy, as you can see.
That's awesome. Okay, so much information there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so Cirielli, look, let me tell you one thing. There's so many questions here, right? So, how about I can start here. Let me first answer one question here. Someone was asking here, if we speak, if in Quebec we talk French, right? So why we're speaking in English here? But no, can you? My first question: Can you actually move to Montreal? And if you only speak English, or you must speak French? That's actually a good question to begin with.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a nice overview of Montreal, and then I think Rodrigo's testimony will be great to hear because he is currently living it. But here, in fact, as the official language of the province of Quebec, so we are located, it's the eastern part of Canada. So you can see that the official language is French. It's super important to do it and to be motivated to learn French. But the specificity, the particularity of Montreal is that we have this bilingual culture of French, both French and English. So in fact, everything is written in French, administrative stuff, the road signs, everything in your common life is in French. But this is possible to get a temporary job only speaking English. So for example, in the case of gaming studios or other IT companies, their teams are so international, so multicultural that it's possible to find a job just with English. But you must know that it's important to show that you're motivated to learn French. The Quebec government offers free French lessons for every newcomer to the province of Quebec. So that's great. Also, most companies offer French lessons to help you have a better integration in the Quebec society, because we know it's super important. And last but not least, if you want to stay permanently, to ask for your permanent residency to stay in Quebec after a while, you would need to have a B2 level, so that is to say an intermediate/advanced level of French. To stay here, you would need to pass an exam. So for the first step, it's not mandatory to get a job to speak French. But if you want to stay like permanently and for a longer time, we really strongly recommend to learn French. And it's completely respectful for the Quebec culture, and you would have a better experience and better integration here. Okay. So maybe, Rodrigo, I don't know if you'd like to add something, to share your experience about that.
Yep. Before Rodrigo does that, let me just say this, because we're talking about a little bit about working abroad in general. Danielle's saying the same as in Amsterdam, right? In the Netherlands, the official language is Dutch, but everybody speaks perfect English. So I'm just kind of saying that, yes, if you want to work abroad, knowing English is fundamental. Even I saw here people from Portugal. I have friends that move to work in Portugal. Even if you go to Portugal, you have to speak English, right? So so it's not just because you speak Portuguese, you can just go to Portugal and that's fine. No, you have to speak English. And so it's important to speak English, but you also may need to speak the local language, right? So if you go to Portugal, so you have to speak Portuguese. If you go to to Amsterdam, you have to speak Dutch. And if you go to Quebec, Montreal, you're gonna have to speak French, right? Estonia, Pedro saying from Estonia, same thing in Estonia, right? Okay, perfect. All right, so Rodrigo, you moved to Canada, but you knew a little bit of French, but you're not fluent in French. So how did you manage that?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm still learning French, so I can barely speak French, like in the dialogue, I would say. I'm still learning. But when I came here, it was just bonjour, au revoir, not much more than this. But it depends a lot on what is the type of company that you have to deal with. So most of the case when you are a consultant, most of the case you need to have the French. That I had also a previous job offer that was requiring French, and I was studying French, and then a lot of things happened, and then I got this current position that I have that is only English. So it's all good if you have only English, but it's like they say, it's better for the city, it's better for the culture, it's better for everything. So what I notice here is every time that I try to speak French, I get an extra smile. So I've been trying to speak French since then. So, but it's totally okay if you just speak English. It's kind of like the language that everyone merges to talk about, because, for example, in my company there is people that speak Japanese, Spanish, many languages. So in the end, English it's like the main goal. But there is the second language that if everything gets wrong, in the end you learn two languages. So it's a really good deal, I would say, because you end up learning a third language, considering that we speak Portuguese.
Awesome, that's awesome. So Rodrigo, Said says that you speak very good, right? Because I think that both me and CDL are speaking too fast, and Said has been complaining about that. We're gonna try to speak a little slower, Said. Sorry about that, but. And so, okay. And Roberto saying second live with me today. So thanks, Roberto. A few people saying that they've been here in the channel. So thanks a lot, Roberto. All right, so let's go for other questions here. And actually, since we're talking about language, there you said that, Cirielli, but Lucas is asking. So there are programs that some companies can offer to help learn French. You said that the Quebec governments actually have a program for that.
Yeah, exactly. The Quebec government offers free French lessons for all newcomers. So for people who come physically to Quebec, so not before, but for people who land in Quebec, and also most companies. I think it's your case, Rodrigo. Most companies offer additional free French lessons. So really, you've got many opportunities to practice and to learn French.
Okay, awesome. So before I go to next to a few more questions, right? So Julio, can you put back here the book so we can use, you can talk a little bit about it. So before I go a little further than that, let me just say that from time to time, Julio, that's helping us out in the background, is gonna put this little image right here on the screen, right? So look, if you get this QR code right there, we're gonna give you 3 books, right? So each one of us here is giving you a book for free, right? So you go there to this QR code, you're gonna get a Living in Montreal book from CDL, right? That's where you're gonna get a lot of information about Montreal and the city and the parks and all the cultural activities there and everything. So there's a lot of things in the book for you to want to live in Montreal. Also, Rodrigo is offering for free his book is the Cyborg Developer Cookbook, where he talks about software automation, right? It's an awesome book. Everything they want to know about software automation is in that book, completely free. You get that book for free right there. And because you're here, we're helping you out, taking action. I'm giving you my book, The Best Developer Here, that's going to help you make a plan for you to take action and achieve your dreams of moving to another country, right? So, you get those 3 books for free. So every time that little image shows up here, go download the books for you, okay? So let me go back here. There's a lot of questions. I'm going to try to get all the questions here, but there's one question I think is very important here from Jose, and I'm gonna go directly to that one here. Are spouses and partners allowed, right, to move, right? And how does that work, right? And he also asked about, are spouses and partners allowed to learn French too?
Yeah, it's super important because, in fact, we can see with immigration, with international recruitment, that one of the key success factors of a nice integration is the integration of both partners, no? So the integration of the spouse is also super important. We've got plenty of tools here. There's different associations that are in charge of the integration of the spouse. So they help, for example, with building the resume to facilitate the integration. They help in building a network to meet with other people in the same situation, etc., to connect you with local employers. Also, in addition, it's important to know if, in fact, that the francisation, so the program that offers the government of Quebec is offered to the both partners, and also it really depends on all the different kinds of jobs, but for qualified jobs in the tech industry, the person that is recruited would get a temporary closed working permit linked to the company that is hiring this person, and the partner would get an open temporary working permit. So that would allow the partner to work the same way on the local market here in Montreal.
Okay, awesome, right? So you already answered the question about, a companion has a permission to work. So that's awesome. Okay, so let me kind of go back here and get from the question from the beginning, because there's a lot of great questions in the beginning, and we just kind of skip all of that, right? So, okay. And look, I just kind of want to thank more people. There's lots of people join us, lots of people having questions. We have, depends on where you look. We have more than 100 people here now watching us. So that's pretty awesome, right? So, and oh man, where's the question here? So Danielle says that he was talking about that he met with you on TDC in 2019, and he moved to Prague with his girlfriend, dog, cats, right now in Amsterdam. And his question is, how can I help more people to realize the same life and career plans, right? So is there any way that other people here that have done this dream, like Rodrigo, can help other people do the same thing?
Well, you mean how it can help for people who'd like to do like international move?
Yes, exactly. How it can help that, right?
Well, I think
why are you thinking? Let me start answering that, right? So first thing, Danielle, I think you should share your story, right? Because I'll tell you one thing. What I see a lot, that there's a lot of people that they like Rodrigo, right? There's a lot of people that have this dream, but they don't even believe it's possible, right? So they don't even try because they don't even believe it's possible. So maybe that's a good time for you to tell your story, Rodrigo, because you did not believe it was possible, right? But you watch a webinar like this, actually this webinar with Cirielli and me, a few years ago, right? You watched that webinar and that made you think it was possible. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so maybe fast forwarding like super speed. Before all these things happened, I was working on a small company on a small city in Rio, Petropolis. That I saw that some people here. Also, one of my teammates there, Marcelo Leite, is on the audience. So thanks for watching, Marcelo. So I was working on this company, and then I was okay. I was kind of on the top of the what the company could offer, and then I started to think, okay, I need to learn new things and so on. And then I started to share, and then before starting sharing, I just know TDC, and then I started to see TDC online, and then I met Bruno, and then all these things I started to go on TDC in person. And like super fast forwarding because it took a couple of years, and then in the end, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I was with Cyril and Bruno here, but I was moderating the webinar, and then right after, Bruno also was playing with me on the backstage, because after this webinars that I taught with them, maybe I can go, right? I'm not sure. So after all this, like the discussion, it's also one of the things that Bruno just said. Sharing what we have is also something that will help you to better understand that it's totally possible that your English. When I go to the doctor, I have no idea about the fully words that I need to use. I already go to the hospital. It's super hard, but technical stuff, it's okay. So I think you don't need to have like 100% English to go there. That's my case. You don't need the French as well. My case, I was a Java developer, never worked on a game company. That's my case, and now I'm working with automation in a game company. So there is, most of the times, what I feel is that there are people that have no idea that there is so many opportunities in Quebec and a lot of places that with your experience you're already able to join, but you just don't believe it, like me on the past. But so now we are doing all these webinars, right, to share with you that you can do it. Your English can be like okay, for the interview, it's more than enough, and if you can talk technical stuff, all good as well. And if you have the experience, you have like planned like a lot of opportunities here. If you are just starting, maybe you need to work on this and start sharing. Follow Bruno, because everything from career that I learned, it was from Bruno, that completely transformed my life after starting to share all my stuff. I create this ebook. It was one of the things that I did in the past to start sharing everything I know, and this was a key to help me on the all this process, because every interview that I did, people from the interview already knows that I know something, because it's not only my teammates. So there is a lot of stuff that we can talk and share here, but yeah, thanks again, Bruno. I always say this because you helped me a lot.
No problem. Thanks to you for being here, sharing the story. So Roberto did like a question from something you mentioned here. But Roberto asked, is Canada a good place to work with test automation with Java? So what do you think, Rodrigo?
Yeah, for sure. There is a lot of companies here, not only regular business company, I have no idea how to say this, but also game companies, that all this back-end stuff. There is a lot of companies that use the same technology that like hospital, all the other kind of market uses as well. So it's technology behind the scene, Java, C#, and a lot of cool stuff. So everything needs to be tested. So for sure there is a lot of automation. And if you're talking about automation, for sure you have a place, because manual test is not the best one. So if you have test and automation at the same time, for sure you have places here to. Probably there is open space on the website that Cyril just showed us here.
Awesome. So Cyril, Juan is asking, is the interview would be in English or French? or both?
Well,
Or neither?
That can be both. No, neither. No, it's no option.
I did an interview in Portuguese.
Really?
It was a Brazilian guy.
Oh my God. Okay, you can
Depends.
be lucky as Rodrigo and get someone like a Brazilian guy to do your interview. But yeah, no. In fact, most companies would do the job interview in French if they require an intermediate or advanced level of French. But the companies that are looking for also English-speaking profiles, they would do it in English, but maybe they would test you in both languages. I mean, if you put in your resume that you're a beginner in French, for example, maybe they would test you just to be sure that you've got some basis in French, for example. So it really depends on each company, each vacancy. I mean, you would need to check it out, all the different requirements and the levels of French and English that are required. But yeah, be prepared for this option. You could be tested during the job interview, but no worries if you don't have for example, a French certification or an English certification, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not mandatory to have it.
I don't have neither of the. I don't have French and English certificate, so yeah, you don't need to do any of this tests.
Yeah. All right.
That's cool.
So there's another question here that says, oh man, I missed the question here, but I know that in Canada there's a lot of position for DBA, right? But in the area of security, is there a good position in the security area also?
Oh yeah, you will see. Maybe we can put like the link anew in the chat of the event. But you would see we've got plenty of job openings right now in cybersecurity. I mean, it's completely booming. So there's got a lot of different job offers in security. Most companies are looking as well for developers, so front end, back end, full stack in different languages, so Java, C#, .NET, etc. Companies also need QA analysts, DevOps, Scrum Masters. What else? I mean, SAP experts. I think, well, I can't tell all the job positions, but you would need to see all the different vacancies we've got. But really, it's a good representation of the Montreal job market and the ecosystem that right now we've got. So startups, small and medium companies, and also big companies are recruiting. I mean, it's the whole Montreal ecosystem that is looking for tech talent.
Right. Okay, so I see some people are asking about the books, right? So let me just kind of go here. Let me show how you can get the books, right? So if Julia, if you can put my screen on the screen for a second. So if you go to this page there, I'm gonna give the link in a second, right? But if you go here to the page, right, and you see, there's these 3 books: the Living in Montreal book that CDL is offering to you, the Best Developer Yearbook that I'm offering to you, and the Cyborg Developer Cookbook from Rodrigo, right? So you just can put here, you can put your name and email right there, or you can down here also, you can just put your name and email, and we're gonna send the books to you on your email right now, right? So you should get the book right now. So go to this link here, get the ebooks. You start your journey to Montreal, right? You're gonna have everything you need to know about living in Montreal, and you're also gonna get a book from Rodrigo about automation, right? So you can be better in automation to get a better job, and you're gonna have a book from me helping you, take action, right, and make a plan to go to Montreal. So go here to this link right now and download the ebooks because this link's just gonna be available during the call, right? After the call. It's not going to be available anymore, so just during the call. So go right now, download your ebook. Don't wait. Okay, so let me go back here to the questions, right? There's a question here that asks about, how hard is to get the visa, right? Because I think that's a big question that we get all the time. Is it's easy to get the visa, or am I going to be rejected? And there's a follow-up question like, someone with a visitor status, right? If I'm just a visitor, can I get a job and then apply for a visa while I'm in Canada? That's not very recommended.
No, not really. I mean, you can't work with a visitor visa, so it's not recommended at all. The key would be to get a job first. Then second step, the company would be in charge of the immigration process. So they would really guide you through the different immigration steps to help you get a temporary working permit. And once you get it, then you can land in Canada, you can land in Montreal, and you can enter physically the territory. Concerning the duration of the process, well, it really depends on each individual situation. It really depends on each country. Of course, due to the COVID crisis, like everything is a bit delayed. But in general, we talk approximately like of a process between 6 months to a year. Sometimes it can be less, sometimes it can be more. So it really depends on each situation. But at least it would give you enough time to get prepared before landing here physically, to prepare all your stuff. If you've got kids, considering the school, if you are owning an apartment or a house, like things like that. But really, we don't recommend to take any action before receiving really the working permit to come here.
Awesome. Rodrigo, that's about how long it took to you, right? It's about 7-8 months or a year, right?
No, I think for me was less, just because was in the end of 2019. So I got like 3 months on the office here, working from the office, and then everything else from home. But my case, I think, was 3 or 4 months max. I think I got everything in August, something like this, and then in December I was already arriving in Montreal. So
right, but I mean, I'm talking about the whole process, right? Since you start doing it, you start talking with people. It was about a year total, right?
Yeah, 1 year for sure. Yeah, it was the Porto Alegre that we went, and then São Paulo as well, that I was helping. A lot of cool stuff happened. Yeah, for sure. It's how can I say this? It's not something that you can get like for tomorrow, but the dream that seems to be impossible if you just start to think about planning what is your goal, what is the focus, and what you're planning to do. For sure, in a very short amount of time, you can actually get well, to be honest, it really depends. For example, in Porto Alegre, I have a friend that I met, I think, in the previous TDC or on the same TDC, that was aiming to go to Europe. And then I said, hey, people from Montreal International is super cool. You should go there. And then I present him to them. And then like 1 hour after, hey, yeah, I'm planning my interview here. He's already getting an interview. And it's like for 2 days after he's already got the interview. And I think in April from 2020, he was already here in Montreal. So it really depends on everything, the market, like your experience, the match from the company, the needs from both sides. And so there is a lot of stuff involved, I would say. And so there is no like...
Yeah, João has 2 questions for you, right? So one is, do you consider that you were super qualified when you got the job, right? And second one is, did you do the interview from Brazil, or you had to travel to the interview?
Yes, the second one is easier. So the everything was from Brazil. I never went to Montreal before, so I packed everything. Arrived first time. I'm living since there, so everything was remotely. All the interviews, all the calls, and about the being qualified or not, I think. What makes you seems or be a super qualified is how much the interview can knows about you before starting the interview. And that's where I like a lot the approach that Bruno has, that by sharing your stuff, you're not helping just everyone that is dealing with your technology, but you're already sharing to everyone else that wants to know that you know. So before I start sharing, the only people that knows is my family, maybe, because they have no idea about tech, but my teammates from the company, that's all. Even if I'm super expert or a newbie, whatever, this was just the guys that knows me. And after sharing my stuff, now I was not only learning a lot of things, because by sharing you learn as well, because you need to think about deeper about what you're sharing, and you practicing a lot of stuff. And then by sharing, you get to the point, for example, the interview is basically asking you things that you already share, your projects and things like this. So I think in my case, I don't consider my case like super qualified or underqualified. I think I'm good on solving problems, and I share a lot of the things that I have, and this is the kind of stuff that company needs. People that are willing to learn new things and solve problems on the things that they have. So in the end, the best advice to get the overqualified that you said is by sharing. So the recruiter will know that you know even before getting the interview. That is like a big step regarding everyone else that has like just a LinkedIn, like with a job description, the current position, and if you type the name of the person in Google, nothing happens. It's just like a Facebook and LinkedIn. But if you're sharing, it can have like Medium, DevTO, whatever, your own website or things like this. So, okay, this guy knows this, that, so cool. So
that's great. That's great.
I think this changed a lot to the situation, I would say.
Yeah. So there's a question here from Isa saying TDC. What is TDC? Because you mentioned many times TDC. So TDC is the Developers Conference. It's an event that's going to happen next week, by the way, and it's completely free to attend, right? So if you want to participate in TDC, search online for you can go to ddevconf.com, right? Or just search online for the Developers Conference, and you're gonna get there, and you can get the basic pass for free, right? So it happens next week, so it's a good time to talk about TDC. Awesome. Now there's a couple of questions here, Cirielli, about people that have they're like juniors, right? So are there opportunities for people just finishing college? There's someone else that asking about, if I just finished college in Canada, can I get a job there? There's another one. Is there many opportunities for juniors into that? So is there opportunities for people that are just starting their careers to move to another country?
Well, it really depends on each company. I mean, most companies that are doing international recruitment, I mean, just you need to understand that it could be a long process. It's also a certain cost for companies. So in most cases, they're looking for intermediate to senior profiles. So let's say at least 3 to 4 years of experience. But you would need to check it out in all the vacancies we've got on the website Talent Montreal I just showed before. Because in some cases, maybe companies are looking, for example, let's say an example in Java, maybe they're looking for 1 to 2 years experience, and for C#, maybe 3 to 5 years. So really, you need to check it out, but be aware that most companies are looking for intermediate to senior profiles. So at least that would allow you to get prepared for this project. I mean, to develop yourself, professionally speaking, in your country of origin. That could be super interesting. Also, if you'd like to come here, if you're highly motivated to come right now and you're still a junior, another opportunity would be to come here studying. We've got another initiative that is called I Choose Montreal. So the website is ichoosemontreal.com. And you've got plenty of information about the different universities we've got in Montreal, the different programs, etc. So that could be an option. Because in fact, you must know that when you study here in the province of Quebec, after your studies, you get a temporary working permit to stay here and to have a chance to get a job with a local company. So for example, for the person who asked, okay, I'm graduated from a Canadian university, yes, you can have a temporary working permit after this studying experience. That could be an interesting option also.
Okay, awesome. Well, there's a lot of people asking here about different categories, right? So, is there opportunities for DBA? Is there opportunities for UX? Is there opportunities for other things? Yes. The simple answer is yes. There's a lot of opportunities for a lot of things, right? So yes, take a look at the sites, right? That Cirielli showed us. Download the book, right? So right here, just go to this QR code here, download the book that says Living in Montreal. That's a book that's going to help you find all this information we're talking about for you here, so you can get started the process. But yes, there's a lot of different opportunities for all kinds of things. Now, there's a couple of questions here, Ciriari, about the pandemic, right? So if the pandemic, if everyone is working remotely, if I can get a job that I work remotely from Brazil, and then in the future I relocate to Canada, if the pandemic affected how many people are moving, so can you tell us a little bit about how the pandemic has hit all of that?
Yeah, sure. Well, in fact, our mission is to promote Montreal as a city to live and to work here. So all companies that are participating in our recruitment events, they have the goal to recruit people to come physically here. So some of them, what they are doing is that waiting for the temporary working permit of the candidate. Sometimes it can take like 6 to 8 months to a year, etc. So some of them are really open to working remotely. They could hire you freelance, for example, before getting the working permit and then coming here physically. But you must know that in our case, for the recruitment events we organize, there is no full remotely position. I mean, the objective is to come physically here in Montreal. Mm-hmm. And also something else that is super interesting, I mean, and Rodrigo, you will be able to attest concerning that, but the market right now in IT is really booming in Montreal. In fact, we had a really nice resilience index, one of the best resilience in North America. So the city of Montreal, of course, like many other cities, was a bit affected at the beginning of the pandemic. But right now, the recovery is really good. I mean, companies in all different industries, in aerospace, manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, etc., they are looking for tech profiles. And in fact, in the last decade, we had a growth of 64% of growth in IT. So you can see that it's still increasing a lot. In 2021, I think the conference board is saying that Montreal will be the most dynamic Canadian city. So really, there's still plenty of job offers. And I mean, in IT, like candidates, there's a huge competition, on the market. So people get approached by all different companies every time. I mean, really, there's a lot of different options and professional opportunities here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So there's a question here that I like to separate. That's from Ricardo, and he asks about Quebec accepts families or singles, right? And I think this is a very, very important question, because there's a lot of people that that they're trying to not only them move and make a better career move or something, but they want to make a whole family experience, right? So give a different opportunity for their families, and the families can meet, visit a new country, can learn a new language, and have an international experience for the whole family. And I think this is extremely important. So my advice, and I'm going to ask Ciriari, if you can go for a family or not. But my advice for you, if you want to do this and you have a family, right? First things first. I've met people that they made the whole process of moving without considering their families, right? So they move. And so when they get to the other country, that's when they start thinking about their families, right? So that's not a good option, right? Involve your family from the beginning. Get your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your boyfriend to start learning the language right now. Don't wait, right? Get your kids to start learning the language, right? Get them to visit the website and see how things are, and get them involved on finding the house, because people that move and expect their family to just move with them, right, get very disappointed, because it's very hard. There's another thing that someone else here said. It is very hard to change countries. Yes, it is very hard, right? It's stressful. You go to a place where you don't have family, you don't have support many times, right? So you have to create new friends, you have to learn a new language. You're not necessarily a citizen immediately, right? You might take years for you to become a citizen. So it is hard, right? It's a very stressful process. So if you don't involve your family, what's going to happen is that you're going to move, you're going to be fine, right? Because you're going to get work. you meet new friends at work, right? And then the other person, right, your significant other that went with you, they might have problems on making relationship, making friends, and they're gonna be very lonely, right? And then they're gonna come back. They want to come back, right? And so what are you gonna do? You're gonna come back too, right? So involve your family from the get-go, right? So it's very, very, very important. So Cirielli, can I go as a family, or can I go single? Does everything works?
Everything works. You can come with pets if you'd like to also. Yeah, no, I'm joking about that, but yeah, no problem. As I mentioned before, the person that got recruited would get a temporary working permit that is closed and linked to the company, and then the spouse would get an open working permit. The same way, like kids would get like an authorization, they would be linked to the working permit to go to school, etc. So that would be completely possible to come here with a family. But as you mentioned, Bruno, it's a whole family project. I mean, as I mentioned before, it's a key success factor to have a nice integration for the whole family, because it's the first reason for a comeback to the country of origin. So sometimes it doesn't work, that's life, but you need to prepare it before.
Right. So Cirielli, I'm not sure how things are today, right? But when I worked for Sun many years ago, right? Sun did a lot of relocation of people from everywhere around the world to the US and to other places, right? So Sun had these little booklets that would talk about the biggest problem with people moving, right? And it was exactly this, that the family could not adapt, and so so the family would want to come back, right? And so this is very serious, right? So that's why I think that you should really worry about this. But now there's another question from Alex. I think a couple of guys asked this. So how about age? Does age matter when you're moving? If you're too old or too young, or doesn't matter?
Well,
maybe too
young.
I
if I can answer this one, I would say that if you have more age, maybe you have the best advantage from everyone because you have experience. So right. We're talking here about experience. So the more experienced you are, the better you have, the best opportunities you have, and the better reallocation you can get. So they are not looking at all about your age. They're just looking, okay, if you have 20 years of experience, something, maybe you are just like a super expert instead of an old guy that you are thinking about. Don't think on that way. I would say that age is not a problem at all. There is a lot of types of aging in every company here. So in my company, there is people that is younger. Mostly the younger one are from here because it's junior position, things like this, like interns and things like this. Most are from here, but it is not like the age is not like a limit. There is a lot of older people. I'm 32. I'm 32, so like mid-age. I came here with like 8 to 10 years of experience. So if I have 40, 50, you probably have 20 plus years of experience. So you have like the perfect profile that they're looking for. That's kind of senior plus experience. So you're doing good.
So Rodrigo, let me ask one thing. You talk about experience, and you mentioned a little bit about experience, but you were working on a game company, right? And you did not have any experience with games before that. So can you tell us a little bit about so which company you're working on, right? It's Square Enix, right? Is that the company you're working for? So can you tell us a little bit about your because look, there is as on the video from Cirielli was showing, right? There's a lot of relationship with games, right, in Canada, right?
Yeah, I think in Canada, I think Montreal specifically, I think it's top 3 or top 5 in the world of all the companies, gaming companies. So if you want gaming, this is one of the perfect places that you want to come. Awesome. So I'm working for Square Enix Montreal. That is one of the studio that Square Enix has. So Square Enix is like the big one that you already know, like globally. So my studio is focused on mobile. That is Square Enix Montreal. There is also Eidos Montreal. That is like 5 minutes walking from the other studio. So it's really close. That is focused on consoles. But there is a lot of other gaming companies like Ubisoft has one of the biggest studios here in Montreal. I think it's 5,000 people, something like this. It's like super big. Behavior. So there is a lot of companies related to gaming. So a lot of many ways to get the experience on gaming. And talking about myself, I didn't have experience at all on gaming, except playing. That I like to play since my childhood a lot. So I was basically a Java developer. Then I switched to automation at some point of my career. And after sharing a lot of stuff, I got a position about automation. So you don't, there is, when you talk about gaming things, you're talking about Unity, Unreal, things like this. That is like game engines, but it's not just game engines that a game company is built from. So you have Java, C#, Python, Go, a lot of DevOps kind of related tools and cloud stuff. The automation, test, quality, release, UX, so and design and artist things. So there is a lot of types of opportunities that you can get from a game company. So even if you don't have, sometimes you need the previous experience because it's related to the role that you're joined. But sometimes if it's just like a software engineer, Java from one company to another is Java the same way. So you don't think that because it's a gaming company, it should work different.
Right. Okay. So, Cirielli, that's a question I get a lot of times. What kind of education must I have to be able to apply for a job? Do I have to have like a degree, a postmaster degree, a doctorate degree? What kind of education do I need to apply to one of those jobs?
Well, Rodrigo started to mention it. You don't have any specific age to be, but neither you don't have to have a specific degree. I mean, what recruiters are looking at is experience. So it's not a matter if you don't have, like, for example, a bachelor degree or a master's degree. They are really looking at your experience, your background, what are your different professional experiences, etc. So don't be afraid to apply if you don't have a specific degree in IT, because maybe you've been working for 15 years as a Java developer, and you will be really a great asset in the company, and you will be super qualified. So don't be afraid of that. And it's not mandatory in the immigration process. So yeah, experience is a key. Okay,
awesome. Okay, so there's a question related to that. So João says, my girlfriend is trying to, is thinking about moving to Canada. She is from the IT area, right? But I'm a teacher. So how are jobs outside of the IT area? And along the same lines, since we're talking about moving with the family, there's another question here from Eliezer that he says, is the family or wife, kids, dogs, is there company support for them to find a position, to find a job, or it's all on you?
Well, in the case of our recruitment events, there are in-demand sectors, in-demand jobs. So we are working with a lot of companies in the IT industry, in video games, in artificial intelligence. But sometimes we are also organizing events in manufacturing industry, in aerospace, health or education also. So that's important to know that really it's in some specific industries. I mean, companies don't do international recruitment in all different areas of the working of the job market. But as long as you come, for example, with someone who got recruited in IT, who's got a job, then as I mentioned before, you would have an open working permit. So you would be able to work in all different industries here in the local market. You wouldn't have any barrier considering the working permit. So that's good to know. And also there's plenty of associations, different tools to help the spouse to have a nice integration. So there's a lot of cultural associations. So it could be, for example, the Association of Latin Americans based in Montreal. Also, there's a lot of different tools, for example, with the Chamber of Commerce of Montreal, to help the spouse to get a job here. So to do the resume, to do a motivation letter, to create a network also, because we know that it's, the guide here, because we know that it's super important to have a nice network. Well, I mean, many job opportunities occur through the networks, through the connections you've got, through the different friends you've got in different companies, etc. So that is super important to have this kind of help from associations here. So there's a lot of different tools, and in the guide Living in Montreal, you've got some names of associations that would help you when you're physically settled here in Montreal.
Okay, that's awesome. So I just want to make a comment here. There's someone here, I think René, said something that's, René, so he says, I'm almost 40, but I'm doing a career transition, and so I have a junior experience point. So René, let me tell you this. Everything that you did in your life counts.
Well, I think I've lost Bruno.
Yeah, I was listening to a beep in the background. Maybe it's a no break, and now we are leading the webinar.
So now you're the animator, Rodrigo.
So continue what Bruno said. I totally agree with him that your previous experience do matter. For example, I was a developer, like full-time developer, and now working with automation. My experience with development helps me a lot with everything related to software automation. So it really depends if you are like used to be, how can I get an example from like a totally different career and now go into IT. Probably on the IT market, your previous experience won't be considered. But if you're just like, I was a infra guy and now I'm a developer, or vice versa, your experience is related to the same industry, so it can be considered. And also your previous experience working with all the other things, you will help you a lot on solving problems because you have this experience. So it's a plus, not like a minus, as like everyone likes to consider. Oh, I'm a junior, but you don't have the same like mindset or mind map from solving problems that you had when you just left to the college, like 1 year of experience. After 8-10 years plus solving things, your mind is just different about a lot of stuff on the IT. So even if you are junior, you learn way faster than a junior just starting on the sector. So yeah, I'm not sure if you have any questions to raise, Cyril.
Oh, I think Bruno is coming back.
So sorry about that. So I don't know if you can answer my question or not, but the question or not, but
yeah, I tried to answer, but if you can rephrase and do it on your style, I like to, because I learned from you. So
okay, so René, let me tell you this, man. Everything you did in your life counts, right? So you have experience with lots of different things. So if you consider yourself a junior, just because you transition career, you forget everything else you did, then what's going to happen is that you're going to be considered a junior by the market, right? So you are the one that have to position yourself. You're making a switch to another career. You're making that jump. You have to make a jump looking at everything you did before. Bring everything with you, right? Absolutely everything. So if you go to my YouTube channel, I have some videos talking about this. But bring everything with you, René, right? All your experience, everything that you did, and sometimes you can say, but Bruno, but I had no IT experience in the past. Well, but you had other experience. So for example, the other day I was talking to a lawyer, right? And she was a lawyer and she went on IT. So she said, I'm a junior. I said, no, you're not a junior. You are a developer and they understand the law, right? It's much easier to teach someone to develop than teach someone to be a lawyer, right? So if you go work for a company that's developing software for lawyers, you are big assets. But if you go work for a company that's doing development software for doctors, maybe they don't care about you, right? So consider everything that you did beforehand, because that makes a big difference.
I'm glad that you just answered back the question, because I missed this very important detail that you can also match multiple things, and business knowledge sometimes is the key for development. So that is super nice that you said.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so welcome back. Thanks a lot, Isa. That's good. So there's a LinkedIn user. We don't have the name because it came from LinkedIn. So it says, I was an athlete. Now I'm an Android developer with 3 years of experience, right? So I found out the main experience I had before are transferable. Yeah, if you're an athlete and you're going to develop an Android app to help athletes be better athletes, right? So you're the perfect person, right, to do that. And okay, so there's I missed some questions, guys, because my computer rebooted here, so I missed some of the questions. So if we're not answering your questions, kind of ask again. It's going to be helpful. This says, what's the best school to learn English in Brazil? Let me tell you the best school to learn English. Go speak, right? Go speak English, right? Go speak English with anyone, right? Go watch Netflix in English, right? Watch movies in English with English subtitles, and go speak with people, right? Go speak with your kids, go speak with your friends, go speak. The issue about learning a new language, it's all about doing every day. And it's very hard to have a school that you can speak every day, because if you have to go to the school every day, it's a lot of time. So go take any school that you want just to learn the basics. That's great, right? No problem. But you have to speak every day. So go speak every day with everyone. Probably that's what Cirielli is trying to do, right? Cirielli trying to learn Portuguese.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of different tools, but I try to listen to Brazilian music. As you mentioned, to watch series in the original version. And yeah, of course, practice. I mean, you could have a pen friend, for example. I could speak Portuguese with Rodrigo more often, and he could speak French with me as well. So you could exchange as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So you speak in Portuguese with Rodrigo, and Rodrigo speaks back in French with you, right? So that's perfect.
Yeah,
exactly.
Awesome.
And also regarding, you said that talking to friends, that sometimes we say this, and I don't see that many people try to do this. So actually, like a long time ago, like 3 years ago, I think, I started to do talks with a friend, Rafael Del Nero, that is now in Ireland. So our first try was with other 2 friends, was from Skype, trying to talk something in English. Was desperate, like we're sweating a lot. Nothing works. At that time, it was terrible, but we are trying, like every week, we are trying to present something in tech. So we actually training English. We are training how to present. That is also good. And also how to say things about your focus, so technology. So after like 1 year or something, we are already doing like presentation in English easily every Saturday. So actually, I think since that time, I never speak with, in Portuguese with him again. We like talk 95% in English, even if you're just random talk with a WhatsApp, whatever. We're still talking in English because we want to practice this language. So this is actually a very good, a good strategy. If you just need one person that you can start with this and just start practicing.
Yeah. And also considering learning French in addition, if you'd like to learn it in addition to English. I mean, Portuguese, Spanish, we've got Latin roots in common with French. So sometimes when I'm trying to learn Portuguese, for example, I'm like, okay, what is the Latin root? Maybe this word is exactly the same, but I'm going to switch with the O or A at the end. Sometimes it works. So, I mean, you just have to try. Also,
that's how we speak Spanish here in
Brazil.
Right? We just fake it. Yeah.
It works with Portuguese.
Yeah, you're right. And if you'd like also to have to learn French in a school in Brazil, for example, we got partners like École Québec, Escolia Québec, to learn French for the Quebec job market. So that's nice. There's also a lot of different Alliances Françaises, Alianças Francesas, na todo mundo. So it could be a nice option also to learn French.
Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome. So there's one question here. Look, I'm amazed that we got that far. Look, we only have about 10 more minutes here. So if you have not answered your question, it's 10 more minutes, but we're only going to answer all the questions. So there's more questions. We're going to keep answering here a little bit more. But I'm amazed that we got that far, and the question only showed up now, is how about the wages? How much money can we make? And how this relates to cost of living, right? But before we talk about cost of living, let me tell you this. Go here, right here on this QR code. That's where you can download 3 ebooks for free, right? One ebook is the Living in Montreal ebook that Cirielli is giving for you for free. It tells you everything you need to know about Montreal. And so it's going to help you, your family, to make a decision. It's going to give you a lot of information about Montreal. It's awesome ebook. And then Rodrigo is giving away his Cyborg Developer Cookbook, right? It's a cookbook about how to do automation, right? Software automation, containers, cloud, Docker, all kinds of cool stuff on Rodrigo's ebook. And if you want to plan your year so you can move to another country, I'm giving you a little ebook that helps you plan everything and helps you take action so you can actually achieve your dreams, right? So right here on this QR codes, we're also going to put in the chat the link. Download the ebooks now because it's only going to be available during the live, right? So after the live, not going to be available anymore. So make sure that you download it right now. So how about wages? Wages, cost of living. Lots of people say Canada is very expensive. You have to pay lots of taxes. How does that work?
Well, that's a super important and interesting question. So, in fact, you must know first that compared to many other North American metropolises, Montreal is the most affordable one. So, for example, compared to Toronto, to Vancouver, or also in the United States to Boston, New York, etc., Montreal is really the most affordable. It's cheaper. So talking about, for example, the health system, everyone has a free public health system. So for all newcomers, you've got access to that. Also, education cost is more affordable than in other metropolises outside of the province of Quebec. So it's really interesting. And we've got a lot of different allocations, like financial help for families also. So this gives you some nice information about the cost of living. You've got a super nice tool. I really like it. It's called Numbeo. Numbeo. I mean, it could help you to compare the cost of living of Montreal compared to other different cities in the world. So really, it's a nice tool. Now let's talk about the different wages for the tech industries. We could talk about an average of maybe 70, 80,000 Canadian dollars. That can give you a nice overview. Of course, it's hard to say how much you're gonna earn. It really depends on each company. Sometimes a senior developer with experience could earn more than 100,000 Canadian dollars. So it really depends on each situation. But I really advise you to visit Numbeo. You can also visit Glassdoor to have nice insights about the market. But really, the quality of life we've got here, the cost of living, and the wages we've got on the job market is a nice balance, a nice combination to have a comfortable situation.
Awesome.
Maybe, okay. Rodrigo, you could attest, considering that you're currently experiencing it on the Montreal job market.
Yep, I totally. You said everything that it's necessary, because it's like the target, especially when you're starting, it's kind of 70, 80, because they say about Montreal experience. So once you get here and after learning French, also gives you better opportunities to look for more like job offers. And once you are here, you're just starting a whole new journey. So there is a lot of space to go grow. And so it's really, and as Cyril said, it really depends on the type of experience that you have. And if you are more senior, for sure you can get more stuff, and you have French, you get another plus on the top of it, because if you are senior and you have 2 languages, you can work on any kind of consultant company here, that there is a lot of them. And so this like just stack on the things that you can have and get a better offer here.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so I think we're running out of questions here in a minute, but there's one question that I don't know who asked that, because I remember the question in my mind. There is someone was asking about resumes, right? So do I need to prepare like a nice looking resumes? What's available on LinkedIn? Is that enough? Or do I have to hire someone to prepare like a nice resume? So that's a good question. And so I'll let Cyril start answering that, but then I want me and Rodrigo to talk a little bit about what can you do more than a resume. So do you need like a fancy prepare resume, or just LinkedIn is enough? Cyril, what do you think?
Well, we've got a super nice article on our website, talentmontreal.com, that is called How to Prepare Your Resume, How to Write Your Resume Like a Pro. You will see that the Canadian, the Quebec resume is a bit different, because you could put it on 2 pages. You need to put your competences, your experience, your education, etc. But really, as you mentioned, Bruno, it's important to have your LinkedIn profile updated as well. In North America and in like many countries now, but here in Canada and in Quebec, it's really important to have an updated LinkedIn profile. And also, you could also update your GitHub profile. I think, Rodrigo, you've got one, for example, that could be another option to show that you're really up to date on the job market.
Right. Yeah, so that's what João is saying here. Portfolio is super relevant. Yes, guys. Yeah. So the things that you did, your experience that you have, it's very important. So that's why one thing that Rodrigo did amazingly well is that not only he did lots of things, but he shared, right? So he shared on GitHub, he shared on his blog, he wrote books, right? So basically, you not only you have to have a great resume, that's part of it, or the things that you did, but also you have to show up in the market, right? The best way for you to get an amazing job is for you to show up in the market, right? Show up in the market, show your experience, talk with people, come to events, meet people, get even better experience by meeting new people, right? So that's how you build your portfolio. So yes, portfolio is amazingly important. Rodrigo, you did talk a little bit about that, but you in a space of about a year, right? You actually revamped your whole portfolio in a way that became amazing, right? So can you tell us some of the things that you did that were more worthwhile?
Yeah, so basically everything that because every time that we talk about sharing, we think, okay, I'm not good enough, but you just need to think about what is the audience that you're teaching or that you are helping. So if I'm learning something, probably if someone else writes something, I could be reading this thing. At the same time, once you learn this, you can teach someone else that is trying to learn this. So every time that you think about sharing, you have something to share. So that's what I made. So I started to share about Vagrant. That is one of the automation tools that you can use, and lots of other stuff. So I started creating blog posts. That at that point, I created my personal one. There is some advantage and disadvantage. I would suggest you to get the minimal friction. So go to DevTO. That is one of the best ones for tech related stuff. You just like one click and voila, you're already ready to start blogging. So no friction at all. So no excuse for starting. So once you just start sharing, what I did all the thing that Cyril said. So LinkedIn was updated in English, obviously, not on Portuguese if you're looking for a work that is English related. And then I also create this idea of public speaking on GitHub, that it was from Elias, another guy that I just copy paste. So you can just copy paste. If you go on the commits, like 3 years ago, there is like 3 lines. There is not many things, but I just keep sharing, and at some point it's a little bit bigger. So I put every talks that I participate, every blog post, books that I help the community to write, and many other things. And it's end up that once I have an interview, it happens more than once. During the interview, they have the LinkedIn and also the link from the GitHub account. And the interview is basically guide on the challenge that I already shared. So instead of having like crazy questions that, because the interview have no idea about you, they just asked about projects that I already did before. So what was the challenge regarding this project that you did? And so it's just basically telling a story. So what did you eat this morning? It's easy to answer, right? So it's the same way as the project that you've been sharing. So this is kind of my informal way of sharing my stuff, and super easy to everyone access, easy to update. So yeah, it's something that I learned from Elias and helped me a lot. So if you want to just clone for you and adapt to your profile, feel free.
That's awesome. Okay, that's great, Rodrigo. That's awesome. So look, there's one, since this question keeps popping up. So Vanessa is asking, are there any company offering jobs in user interface, user experience, customer experience? And so basically, yes, right? Anything you guys want. There's another person asking about, how about support positions? How about something else? Yes, there are positions about everything, right? So you got to go to the Montreal International website, where there's a long list of positions, of job opens and everything. So yes, right. Take a look at what at the Montreal International website. Are we going to put the link here one more time in the chats, right? So you can get that. Now, last thing we're going to do here, I don't see any more questions, right? So we're kind of just repeating the question here. So one thing I want to do is I want to show you one more time the link for the books, right? So that's the last time we're going to show this. So if you go here on this QR code, you're going to get the 3 ebooks. The ebook Living in Montreal. We're going to give a lot of information about living in Montreal. The ebook, the Cyborg Developer Cookbook from Rodrigo, showing you how to do automation. And the book from me, The Best Developer Year, they're going to help you take action, right? So go get your book right now. It's completely free, and you download the books, and then basically, and what's going to happen. So here's what's going to happen. When you download the book, you're going to get information about the links that we're talking about here. We also going to send you later on, how you can apply to those jobs, right? So you can get some more information about that. So make sure that you got the ebooks, right? So that's the last time I'm going to show this QR code. So get it right now. It's very easy. It's a short URL right there. Very, very easy. Diego Souza saying, got it. Yes, Diego. Congratulations, man. Look, because that's what we want to do. For you to move to another country, you have to take action. There's no such thing as, oh, yes, I want to move to another country. Let me just wait until a job offer falls in my head and forces me to move to another country. That doesn't happen like this. You have to take action. So we're just telling you to take a very, very small action right now. You should download those books, because once you have them, then you can do the next steps, right? So go do this right now. Okay, so that was the last chance. All right. So let's get back here for our fine. Okay. So let's get back here. You can remove this, Julio. So let's get back here because I want to just give Cirielli and Rodrigo a chance. So is there anything, Cirielli? Let me start with Rodrigo. Right. So Rodrigo, is there anything that you think I should have asked it that can help people move to another country?
I think the beeping.
Well, time to give some advice for any people who'd like to move to another country, Rodrigo.
Yeah. So guys, I think that the most important thing that we need to know is that it's possible. It's not something that we can't do because whatever the reason that we might have. So for me, especially talking about myself, I have no idea how to work on a game company. If at some specific point in my career I would be able to do this, and after doing the whole like transition and the now being on the top of my dream, that like my dream position was the one that I'm doing now, I can share and talk to you that it's totally possible. It's not easy, obviously, but if you focus on the language that you are aiming for, so for me it was English, so everything that I shared was in English, to aim everything focusing on my goals and better understand what is the thing that you want to work with, so you can focus on the sharing part, the things that you want to work with. At some point, after a consistency, you start to get things that you have no idea that you could have. That is basically what happened to me after a couple of years doing stuff and sharing a lot. And thanks, Cyril, to doing this amazing initiative that I get to know a lot of people on the Montreal International that I really like to be with, and also all these opportunities that you are sharing with everyone that wants to work on Montreal. So I'm loving everything here. So yeah, I think we cover a lot of good stuff here, but we are open with this all these books that we are sharing here to help you on doing this extra step. I'm not sure if you want to add more stuff, Cyril.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rodrigo. Always a pleasure to do webinars with you. And that's super interesting to have your experience, how you were backstage before and then it happened to you. So that's really cool. And also, I would have a question for you. So far, you arrived in Montreal, like it's been a year and a half now. What's your favorite place in Montreal? Hey, Bruno.
Back again. So yeah, in Montreal, I would say that I didn't get to know many places yet because I worked in 3 months on the office, get to know everything about a whole new country, and then like 1 year. Actually, yesterday, because we got the curfew last Friday, so we don't have more the curfew. So actually, yesterday I went to the same restaurant that I got my birthday on 2020. So after like 15 months, we got the chance to go to a restaurant again, like sitting on the like the part that is outside. Inside is not allowed yet, so it's I'm still okay. Now I get to know more about the city, but consider that I'm living on downtown, so there is a lot of cool place here. Like the Farewell, Old Port is amazing. Lots of parks that each of them are good. So yeah, a lot of cool place to still visit.
Very nice.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you answered my question about if there was anything else that we should ask, but you guys did, right? Okay, so I think that's it, right? There's one last question I can see here. Issa is asking, is not too cold in the winter? Or it is?
No, it's not too cold. I mean, what we say is that you've got to play with winter. I mean, if you stay in your apartment, if you are just like, oh my God, it's still snowing, you won't have fun with winter. But if you go outside to play with it, to go skiing, ice skating, doing some rackets, etc. I mean, snowshoeing, you're gonna like it. We have got nice equipment. We've got beautiful days. It's really sunny all winter long. Of course, sometimes it's a bit stormy, but like most of it, you've got to play with it. And there's a lot of different activities you can do in the city and outside, like go and play in parks. So that's really cool.
Awesome.
And at home is less colder than in Brazil because of the heating. So at home you don't need to pack. No, at home it's super fine. Even if it's like minus 20 outside, it's all good at home.
Yeah, but Rodrigo lived in Petrópolis, right? It was pretty cold in itself, right?
Yeah.
So. All right. Okay. So look, I think that was totally awesome. I think there's just some comments there. João is saying, "Thanks, guys. Soon enough, I'm getting there." Awesome. Okay. So thanks, everyone. So I cannot thank you enough, Cirielli and Rodrigo, for taking the time to talk with us here today. Look, this is great because this week I'm doing a series of webinars every day, talking with friends, right? And so it's awesome that I have two great friends here with me discussing all those things. So Renee saying congrats, everyone. Thanks, everyone. So, and for you, especially congrats for you that you're here with us because you're taking a step, right? You're chasing after your dreams. You're making your dreams a reality. So do that. Download the ebooks, right? If you missed the link for the ebooks, watch it again and get the links for the ebooks, or see in the comments. And also TDC, the Developers Conference, happens next week, right? It's free, no matter where you are in the world. I saw people from France. I saw people from Morocco. I saw people from I don't know. He just say he speaks Arabic, so I don't know which country he was in. But we have people from all over the world here. So TDC is free. It has lots of tracks in English. Join us on TDC, and I'll see you guys in the next few days. So thanks a lot, Cirielli. Thanks, Rodrigo.
Thank you very much, guys. Don't forget to apply. Et bois sorti. Good luck at todos.
Thanks a lot, guys. For sure, subscribe to the books because these both guys helped me a lot to be here. So yeah, don't miss this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Ciao. Au revoir.
In Montreal, we live and breathe creativity. This is where big players and small studios craft their greatest success stories and come to harness our superpowers, our top talent, our innovative ideas, and our appetite for adventure. We're building a multiplayer ecosystem for the bold and the brave, here to propel projects to new heights and push the entire creative industry forward by giant steps. We're designing an open and inspiring world known for its diversity and joie de vivre. We're behind thousands of celebrated works from all four corners of the galaxy. We are Montreal. Get in the game.